in, so I'm a few minutes late, but I made it. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I wonder if I should turn the music down a little bit. Well, if music's too loud, and you can shoot me a message and let me know that. Otherwise, I'll just leave it. So, how is everyone? The energy is pretty intense. Especially since I think it's been 7-2 to 7-7 or 7-3 to 7-7 has been the Sirius portal, which, if you're not familiar with what that means, Sirian energy is a lot of different things. It's not based in one ideology, but the best way that I can, because you gotta name some things to help people understand what the energy is like. But if you think about some of the very strong feminine, like Mother Mary, like Kuan Yin, some of the very strong motherly energies that we know maybe in religion, or maybe we know just from life paths. There's a lot of strong feminine energy, Egyptian energy. There's a lot of the Lemurian energy. Well, Lemurian energy, which is Mu, is really all of the mothers that we know here on Earth, or that have incarnated in the feminine energy here on Earth, as well as other things, but that's a good place to start. So when this portal opened up, basically what it did is it brought in a boost of energy. So wherever you were at in your consciousness and what you were working on, just how you felt and how you thought about yourself in life, basically got exaggerated. It got amplified. And so if you were in a kind of like a stage where you were shedding, where you were kind of sandblasting the rest of the stuff out, it got magnified, and so it got even more intense. And you think, well, why would the mothers do that? Well, it's really a boost. It's really to help you just quicker, in a more quick way, move through it. I mean, it's kind of like power pressure, power washing it off. But if you were like really feeling very zestful and full of life, and you were really in a very, very calm, just in a nice state of flow, well, then that got amplified too. So it could have been a very, very pleasant experience for you. It was all over the place. So there were some very pleasant experiences within it for me. But there was also a lot of I don't even want to call them downloads, because I don't get downloads anymore. But there was a lot of transformation that went on for me. And also a lot of power washing, since I heal for the collective, and I basically I house a lot of soul energy. So those that I'm connected to, the energy that I'm connected to, wherever they're at in their journey, that got amplified in me, and then it's that part of me tries to just allow it to move through. So it get really intense. But then again, like I said, there are a lot of things that came through me that gave me a much better understanding of what it is that I'm experiencing. So, what do we want to talk about today? I don't know. Usually I have kind of this idea as to what I might want to share. And I was actually rolling around with a bunch of thought, and the part of me that wanted to do this came through and said, no, we're just going to let it just flow. And people are going to be able to witness mistakes. They're going to be able to witness, non-perfection. They're going to be able to witness just the human experience of ascension, of no matter where your soul is at in the process. We're all here to learn, right? So I'm just telling myself this is a learning experience, to be in the flow, to be in the now, because that is what is being asked of us, is to spend more time in the now versus thinking about what we're going to do in the future, how this is going to work out, and just get into the flow. So kind of what I'm feeling like I'm asking myself to do is give a little explanation about my energy, and then do a little bit of tuning with the singing bowl, and then pull a card and see what comes out. And if there is enough time, I'm going to only take about 30 minutes. If there's enough time to do a little bit of guided meditation, and I'll do some Reiki healing remotely, and just kind of introduce a newer form of it that's come through for me, and just kind of see how it goes. So if that is good, let's start there. So I'll give you a little bit, if you have read my pin post, I gave a little bit of an explanation as to how I understand myself as of in the now. So if you haven't read that, I would encourage you to read it if you're interested in my story at all. But one of the things I will add to it is one of the big changes that has happened over this last year is that I've been pushed into really being myself. So there are some channelers that channel all sorts of energy, but it's still a matter of what's outside of them. And the energy that I experience is the energy that actually is moving through me. It's me. And part of an easier version of how to explain my experience is I'm kind of like three seeds. And some people know it by like Hecate, or some people know it by past, present, future. Some people know it by mother, maiden, crone. There's all sorts of different names for it. But so it's like I have this part of me that is the angelics, and that would be the maiden part. And then there's the mother part of me that is the mother consciousness, mother source, mother God consciousness. And then I have the I think that's something that's releasing a bit, because I was doing a lot of resurrection of the energy, because again, they explain it to me through my own life story. So one of the easiest ways for me to understand the crone energy and what's happening with it here on earth, those that carry it, is the crones are tired of being the ugly old hags, the spent up spinsters. And it was about rebirthing it and forgiving some of the darker essences of it and releasing that back to Om. And then having the older, more ancients be able to rebirth themselves into whatever energy it is that they so chose or choose. So that's the other, and that is very much connected to the Om, and is very much connected to the central sun. Well, actually, all of my energies are connected to the central sun, but the mothers of Mu are the energy that typically everyone will see me as. And so I'm in the process of aligning them all into one, which is, it's very much so a task where I'm trying to figure out what's who and who's who, and even explaining it to myself and understanding it myself. I feel like I'm crazy, so I don't really typically like to talk a lot about it, just because I get confused, and as I'm moving through the process of understanding what's happened to me, for me, with me, through me. But so the energy that wants to come forward today is more of the mother energy. And my mother God energy is a very healing energy. So you might find as I start talking that a bit of my flow moves and it switches. And then I will, because the maiden part of me will speak light language, and then the crone part of me, the maiden part of me, the movement is the light language, and the crone part of me is the speaking the light language. So you'll see some flipping going on, but that's a little bit on how my energy works, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let's start by playing my singing bowl, and just kind of tuning the frequency. So what I would ask you to do, you can keep your eyes open or you can close them, it doesn't really matter. But what I would ask you to do is focus in on your breathing. And if it's comfortable for you, I want you to breathe in through your nose, hold for 4 seconds, and then release through your mouth for 4 seconds. And I want you to do that as much and as often as you want as I'm playing the singing bowl. The more, the better. The more you get that flow, it's kind of like you're cycling out the air, cycling it through it's like a filtration time for you. You're filtering your breath. And your breath is actually your consciousness. That's where we gain our understanding and our knowledge about ourselves and about others and about what's around us. So that is what I would encourage you to do while I play. Okay, here we go. I want you to think about what you might want to release during this time that you spend with me. Because as we talk about what comes up, there is energy healing that is happening if you allow it. Just move into the flow of the energy that you're feeling. Okay. So, hello. Let's get you back in action here. Let's use my energy oracle card, just to kind of get some direction as to what we might want to talk about. All right, so let's see what one. Oh, well, that didn't take very long, huh? Anxiety. 18. What's hidden in anxiety? What is hidden in anxiety? Let's look at the word. Okay, I'm gonna hold up the card. Oh, 47 is what's underneath it. Okay, so we're going to look at anxiety through the perspective perspective of the feminine aspect of yourself. And the feminine aspect of yourself is the feeling part of yourself. It's not necessarily disconnected from the thinking though, but just to make things a little bit easier, let's go ahead and separate. And we're going to think about how the feeling part of us affects the way we experience our heart. Unconditional love. So the anxiety, what's hidden in anxiety? The word angst. Angst. A feeling of things aren't right, a feeling of not being a part of something, a feeling about being separate, a feeling about being oppressed, held back in some way. And we all experience these emotions. I don't care which gender you are, where you live, what your social economic status is. We all experience this stuff. The IE is the example. What is an example of thank you? Okay, so that's how I'm reading anxiety, the word anxiety. An example of a thank you. So in truth, even though anxiety is uncomfortable, it's actually a red flag to you, or maybe even a white flag. But let's go with the red flag first. It's a red flag for you to take a look at what's going on. Why are you anxious? And I will tell you, being a therapist, one of the biggest things that I have understood, even personally myself, because I struggled with anxiety for a very long time too, is it's mostly attached to a couple different things, if not always attached to a couple different things. First, it's a time frame. It's about the past or it's about the future, okay? That's about 80% of anxiety is your fears about the past repeating itself or the future not knowing where you anchor yourself in, or if you can take care. It's a safety, it's a rooting issue. It's a forgiving issue, and it's a trusting issue, okay? And we have a tendency to project that out. We have fears and anxiety about what's outside of us, but in truth, it's an internal experience. That's why you're feeling it in your body. It's a mirror. Whatever it is that you're anxious about is actually a mirror to what's going on within you. Okay, so it's important to remember that. Secondly, anxiety is the other 20% is attached to like a disassociation feeling. It's in a lot of people that are going through the ascension process and are starting it, are feeling like they're here, but they're not really here. Like something's strange, something's weird, they're incongruent, or they might experience states where they're paralyzed or where they just kind of get bumped into something that they don't quite understand what's happening and why they got so upset or why they got so angry. Why maybe time has like passed really quickly and they're like, what the hell, where was I for this time period? So it is either a fear about not being able to root and be safe for what's coming ahead of you, or it's a difficult time releasing what has kept you bound and tied from the past, or it's a feeling of like you're not really quite here and you don't really know what to do. There's a fear of like disappearing or a fear of being irrelevant. And so everyone has certain elements of themselves tied to those things. And so when anxiety pox, like a chicken pox, it's like a virus. Oh, like any virus, when a virus pops up, it's asking us to attend to what's going on within the body. So think about anxiety as like a virus. It's asking you to attend to what's happening within your body and attempting to view it as a helper instead of a foe. From my experience with the anxiety, when I was able to just remind myself, when I'm reminding myself of the truth, that I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm fine. If I need to pull, like I would get anxiety driving a lot. So I would say, you know what? If I need to pull off to the side of the road, I can do that. It's no problem. If I'm late for whatever it is, that is just fine. It's no problem. You know, if I feel safer by being in the lane that's closest to the side. So if I feel like I have to stop immediately, I can. I can do things that help me ease that tension that I'm experiencing. And I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself in a tone, in a voice that my best friend would talk to me. Maybe a mother would talk to you. Maybe some type of sponsor or some type of supporter would speak to you, not in the tone like, what's wrong with you? You know, you gotta stop it, just get yourself together. I'm gonna go crazy, or I'm driving into a tree right now. I know there's been plenty of times I feel like I was gonna drive into a tree. But talking to yourself like that is absolutely just gonna jack up your anxiety. So it's incredibly important, especially when we're going through these changes that are happening on this earth. And what's happening is the body is processing more intense emotions. It's gonna be increasingly more important that we learn how to talk to ourselves, to ground ourselves back into our body, to ground that energy. Because what's happening is you get all this energy going on and it has no place to funnel into. It's just like that. And so you want to try and ground it so it calms down, and then talk to yourself about how you can direct it instead of misdirect it, or instead of giving it no direction at all. So those are going to be very, very important things. Another important thing for anxiety, breathing, breath work. There are so many free videos on YouTube about breath work. Look it up. 10 minutes. You know what? A couple minutes sitting on the toilet, when you're getting a glass of water, when you're brushing your hair, right before you're going to bed, while you're pouring a cup of coffee. There's so many opportunities for you just to go. Just by doing that, it helps alleviate some of it. Now, it doesn't remove it. It doesn't completely take it away, or I guess it could, but usually it doesn't. But any steps forward help you get into the flow of the process, and it helps it release. Here's another important thing to remember about anxiety too. The more you fight it, the more you fuel it. I'm going to say that again. The more you fight it, the more you fuel it. That is just naturally what happens. So it's very important to remind yourself that you're okay. You're going to allow it to move through you, process through you. You are going to try your best to funnel it out in a way that's more comfortable for yourself, or that you can safeguard yourself. And I'm going to tell you, listening to music, Hertz music, it's so simple to stick some headphones in, and it takes care of about 50% of it. If you can just get yourself into the sound. Because what it does is it removes whatever's going up in here, and it gets you to listen to the frequency that's coming in. And that calms the neurochemistry within your brain. It's a neuroscience. It's not just mumbo jumbo, new age stuff. So that's another here's another thing that I have done over the last several years, especially when I was really being jolted into awakening and just kind of coming into a new place with myself, particularly when I was getting sober several years ago. And actually my ex-husband got me into it, where he used to play the Hertz music as I was laying down. Now, I was in a terrible state at that time, but I can tell you that 100% helped me. Just laying on the couch, and I wasn't actively meditating or what people would call meditating. I just had it playing. I played it regularly. And now, even now, I kind of think of my house as alive. And so I play Hertz music all day long, and sets the tone for where I spend my time. Some people put flowers. Some people have beautiful paintings. Another thing is essential oils and incense. Creating your space so it's enjoyable. It feels enjoyable will 100% help ease some of these changes that you're experiencing. So it is actually a thank you. It's a thank you. It's saying thank you for releasing that. That's another thing with my clients, now in my healing practice, that I like to talk about, in that, having this stuff come up is not a pleasant experience. Let's face that. It's not. It sucks. But it gets rid of it. It doesn't keep it trapped. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's not just roaring around in your body anymore. My experience in life, even with all the inconsistencies that are happening currently, and even with all the transition that's happening currently with me, my ability to, or the fact that I have worked very, very diligently on releasing has changed my life and changed how I process this difficult energy. So, okay. So let's do this meditation. Okay, I'm going to turn it on, and I will list who, I can't even remember her name, who it's by on YouTube. So check her out. It's great. And then while she's doing that, you might hear a little light language coming for me. But I'm going to be sending remote Reiki to you. So what I'll just ask you to do is to just be open to it and just allow. I might stare a bit at the camera, and that's just my energy moving through technology, because energy is not confined by anything. And if I intend to share it and you accept it, you will receive it. So let's get started with that. Okay, so we're probably not going to do the whole thing because it's 17 minutes long. And her name is Aria. Maybe it's Aria. All right, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
To receive this activation.
Okay, here we go.
And begin to deepen your breath into your belly and into your heart. Taking conscious breaths.
Just want to breathe.
Fully grounding yourself, your being, into this moment. Allow yourself to arrive here and now. Notice how you feel in your body, in your mind, in your emotions. And how is your energy right now? Just tuning into you in this moment, exactly as you are. Without trying to change your state in any way, can you just be present with yourself and with your breath?
Just breathe.
As your soul star receives a golden light pouring down into your crown, in through your forehead, your third eye, around your being and into your throat. Pouring into the space of your heart, this golden light illuminating softness, love, grace, power, and peace. This golden light encapsulate your body in this moment, allowing it to take its time as you breathe and it journeys through.
Okay, we're gonna end right there. What I would encourage you to do is for the next few minutes, just sit and connect. Connect with yourself, with your body. What is it trying to tell you? What is it sharing with you? What does it want you to know?
You're simply remembering this higher love.
Connect with the love that lives within you. I send you so much love.